business, right? I don't care if I do something for you for $50, Kurt. If I flood your house, or if I break something, I destroy something, if I get somebody sick, I'm still liable for it. So ain't no way I'm like, oh well, no, we cool, dog. That's like if I come to your personal house, Kurt, and I do some work, and we go out and we have a drink. We cool, right? I go out and we have a drink. You're gonna be sick. You're gonna be like, motherfucker, you're supposed to be a professional, dog. Ain't no way. My whole living room, everything is flooded, and you did what you were supposed to do. You're gonna be sick. You're gonna be like, man, fuck all that friendship shit, bro. How am I gonna be compensated?
Gotcha.
So what I'm saying is not like, oh, I'm just gonna do a little bit of plumbing, I'm just gonna do this and all that. So it's like what my brother told me this, whether I'm doing for $5 or $50, people gonna get it when it's done right. That's just like me. If I come to you, yo, Kurt, can you give me some stitches? The next thing you know, my whole motherfucking arm inflamed, my shit, I mean, inflamed and shit like that. I don't know what you done did. Oh, I don't know, bro. You ain't gonna do that. You be like, nah, bro, we gotta do XYZ, we gotta do XYZ. You gonna do it the right way. That's
Right.
the same thing, bro. I just like you look at it like I be ripping people off, and I'm trying to tell you, bro. No, you
I ain't saying you be ripping
motherfucker.
people off, bro.
Bro,
I
that's why we on live, Kurt.
recommend
Kurt,
you to people all the time. Do I not?
I don't care about that. We
So
talking
don't.
real. We ain't
So
talking political. We talking
if
real.
I thought you was ripping people off, why would I send people to you,
Kurt,
Keith?
we
Come on.
talking real. You always like, damn, bro. You talking like, oh, that's what it is, bro. Man, I get that shit. Yeah, bro. And you know why you might gonna send me to them people? Because you already know I'm gonna do certain things right. Like, you know what I mean? Them motherfuckers probably can come do that shit for you because guess what? It's not somebody's personal home. It's a rehab, so they probably can do that for you. But yeah, you definitely send people my way. I'm not gonna never say that, bro.
Make sure
I'm
you
not gonna
get that because your plumbing friends like to get in the comments and act like I'm just a savage that
ain't
don't want to pay.
nobody saying
And I
nothing to
think
you,
y'all,
man.
oh, they you know they love it. They wait for every opportunity, but they don't know me personally, and you know me, so I got to make sure that you set the record straight. So because they want a narrative or whatever. But let me ask you this one. Let me ask you this one thing though,
Let me say one thing
because I
to
know
you,
you
Kurt.
got to go.
Let me say
Huh?
one thing to you. Fuck them people. They don't know you, Kurt.
You know I know that.
All right, they don't know you, bro. You just said you
Let me
Uncle
ask you.
Willie's son.
I am Uncle
Fuck
Willie's
them
son.
people,
I
man.
am Uncle Willie's son.
Damn,
Yes.
people don't know me for real. We just do the same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead,
Let
bro.
me ask you. Okay, so let me ask you this question, right? Now, you always say this one thing, why pay twice? And I really like that slogan. I think that's a great slogan that you came up with, and I'm glad you use it for your business. But let me ask you this, and I want you to be honest about it. If in my small amount of real estate experience, if I have done a job and didn't go the route that you would have approved me to go and had to bring somebody else out there again to fix what the other guy didn't do or finish doing what the other guy didn't do, if I had to call them out there 2 times, and at the end of all of that, my number, this is in my experience, my number is still 65% lower than what I would have paid you to do it one time. Is it worth it?
All right, so Kirk, I'm gonna say this to you.
As an investor.
Listen.
Maybe not for your personal home.
Hold on. Listen. You just told me something. You just made a point. You actually just made my point, right? As an investor, right? Right? You working on this job. Just say you're working on this job for 3 months or whatever. How many months you working on the project?
Oh, a couple months, yeah.
A couple months, okay. So you already know, as a businessman, as a father, as all that, time is money, right? What you tell me the other day? I'm not 10%. What the fuck is 10%? Remember that when we had that conversation? I'm gonna just keep it where it's at. Right?
All right.
But you just made my point for me though. You just basically said you had a motherfucker come back 3 times. He was still cheaper than me, but why? But he had to 3 times. So that's time, Kurt. That's all time. So as an investor, guess what? This sitting around, you're still carrying costs, it's still this and it's still that. And if the motherfucker did things wrong twice, you already know it's other stuff done wrong that we ain't even catch yet. So technically you saved on the front, but you're gonna pay in the back end. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it, bro. I mean,
so I think you made a great point, but I would like to want to set myself apart from the average investor because I do understand a lot of what's going on. So if I didn't know nothing, it probably makes sense to try to get it done right the first time. But I'm actively involved with my rehabs and stuff, and a lot of stuff I understand, right?
Hey Kirk, if somebody put your brakes on, if fuck your brakes up, you can go back to them?
This ain't brakes. But that's not what I was saying though, Keith. Listen, Keith. I didn't say if I had to bring, I said if I had to bring somebody else out. So of course I wouldn't bring the same person back out and pay them 2 times. This is
That's
this.
my.
No,
That's
no.
what I'm
Listen,
saying.
brother. No,
But I'm
I
trying.
want you to. I want you to pay attention to the point. If I have, let's say I have A come out and A charged me $5, then there's some shit still wasn't right. Then I had B came out and B charged me $2, right? So I'm what
$7
$7 in the hole.
in.
I'm all right with having somebody come out there 2 times and pay the $7 versus the 300 to you 1 time
All right. So
as
you
an
said
investor.
right. So you saying you already was spending $7, right? You had one guy come out, right? He did it wrong. Then you had another guy come out. He did it wrong. Who's telling
Nope,
you
the second guy got it right.
the second guy got
So
it
I,
right?
so I ended up because the second guy. This is just hypothetical. But the second guy didn't have to redo the whole thing. He just had to make some edits to guy A. So I ended up spending $7, or I could have spent 300 with you. Me as an investor, and the fact that I'm involved in my project, so I'll be having a little understanding about, of course, right? I'll be having a little understanding about some stuff that be going on, and this is the part that people ain't gonna catch. I'm okay with paying the $7 amongst two people versus pay the 300 to one. Time is money, but as an investor, that's a part of the business.
That's
So
right.
you wouldn't take that.
I'm saying this, bro. In my opinion, bro, I'm telling you, bro, I'm betting about 99%. In my
Mr.
opinion,
Mr. London Plumber say, ask him is that a double sunroof in his thing? He's getting money. Why is he watching my pockets?
bro, we ain't worried about none of them, boy. I
You
gotta
know what
go.
I'm saying?
Listen, you
You
asking
got
me a
to be a
question,
smart investor. They ain't got nothing to do with what I got. And
Kurt.
that's the reason I'm able to
Listen,
have the reason that I'm able to have the double
pay attention to
sunroof
the road. Pay attention to the
is
road. You got
because
pay attention to the
I
road.
don't spend 300 for something I can get for 7. And I know I have some understanding about what it is that I'm asking somebody to do. So
Kurt, you
Mr.
know
London can get
that.
it out of my pockets. See you in traffic, Mr. London.
You know this song listen to is called "Senseless" by Kodak Black. It says "Don't make no sense." That shit you talking about don't make no sense, Kurt.
So answer
You gonna
the
spend seven?
question now.
Listen, I am because
All right.
you giving unrealistic numbers. I'm not going. I forgot. I don't even know what that you come with unrealistic numbers, Kurt. You guys say I paid one guy 125, another guy 150 instead of paying me the 300. That don't make sense because that's super inflated, Kurt.
I would pay the one guy with 300 if I still ended up having to pay 2 guys 125 and 150. Yes, that makes sense.
That's what you're basically saying because you can't go from $7 to 300, Kirk. That's so unfair, bro. It's super inflated. I don't even know what percentage that
Bro,
is. It's outstanding.
that,
It's
I
ridiculous.
feel like I feel like a lot of contractors are that inflated. I'm not pointing this
Kirk,
at you, Keith. I'm not pointing this at you.
bro,
I
you
didn't
can
point at you.
you said 7 to 300. You compare. You made me the 300 guy, and them two combined to 7.
I
It can't be like
I
that.
didn't I didn't I didn't point at you, bro.
You're not listening. You said rather than pay me 300, Kirk.
No. A
Say
hit.
this.
See, now you've
Say
been a
this.
hit
Say
dog
this.
hollering.
Say this, and you'll see. But what I'm telling you is you lost in time, and I'm telling you you're gonna pay again. I'm telling you that's why I want to tell you. I'm betting 90 something percent, bro. Every time I come behind somebody and I tell people like, yo, this ain't this and that. And you gotta think, if I notice certain things from the rip, every time anytime I come to your project or anybody's project, I'm like, yo, this is wrong, that wrong, right? Did I not come to your project every day, point some other shit out to you?
Every every contract is gonna come to your
But
project and point some shit out at the last guy
you
did.
put shit up
So
on your story because we
mhm.
cool, bro. I'm not the plumbing police. You gotta think I follow a lot of investors. I don't be in everybody comments. I'm a DM. Oh, bro, that shit wrong. I might send it to my homeboy or something. We laugh about it, but I'm not going. I'm not going to say nothing to that person. I actually say something to you like, yo, bro, that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
And it don't be preference. I'm a preference guy, right? But I'm also realistic. If it's gonna work, it's gonna work. So just because somebody ran something in 3 inch and not 2 inch, oh excuse me, 2 inch and not 3 inch, if it's gonna work, it's gonna work. But if it's cold, it's cold. But if it's not gonna work, I'm gonna say, yo, bro, that shit ain't right. It ain't gonna work. But back to your point, it don't make sense what you're saying, Kirk, because you're basically spending that time. Like I said, time is money. When you know you can get it done by that person, done by that one person. But I'm telling you, in the long run, you're gonna have to pay some more money to get some stuff done. Oh man, my brother, what's up, man?
Come on, man. I got a sunroof too, my bro.
Tell
I
him where
got a
you from,
sunroof.
Mr. London. Tell him where you from.
I'm from London,
Ah,
bro. And I understand what
get
you're
him.
saying.
Why I can't see him?
Can you see me?
Oh, you trying to say because he a black man you can't see him, Kurt?
No,
That's
I
Out of
crazy.
order.
only
Kirk,
see
man.
me and you.
Please,
Dang, that's
man.
wild, bro.
That's
No,
wild,
it's only
Kirk,
two
man.
screens.
That's
It's
color.
only two screens. Just me and you, bro.
That's crazy. Let's put a white man on here. See if a white man. You see the white man. That's crazy, bro.
Come on, man. But I can hear, I can hear him though.
Hey, Mr. London, if you had on the motherfucking if you was in a hospital, he'd be able to see you. You feel what I'm saying?
Of course. But
If you was in real estate, he'd be able to see you. That's wild.
now I listened to the conversation, yeah, and honestly, I've heard both sides of the points in it, and both sides of the points they hold value to people who maybe don't understand or are getting it from our perspective as plumbers, right?
Right.
So, as plumbers and contractors, yeah, when you come in to see a job and somebody's done it wrong, of course you got to spend your time, your knowledge, but it's your knowledge and your experience which will allow you to do that job easy or do it how it should have been done the right way, the first way, properly, yeah. And when he's saying that to you, it's not the poorer guys. I don't mean to say it like that, but the guys who you're gonna play cheaper, yeah, the whatever amount of dollars cheaper than someone who's a fully qualified plumber or whatever like that. Those people are not always going to be able to pick up on and rectify the problems what you've asked because they don't get it. And again, it's just about the experience what you have in a whole, it's an entirety. Do you get it? Did you get that, bro?
Say that last part for me, sir.
So um, it's about the experience and the job in its entirety. So let's say when you was talking about paying someone $200 to come and the other person will pay $200 and that way you're only paying 400, so it makes it cheaper. I understand your logic on that when it comes to money in principle, yeah. But what I'm saying to you is the person who's getting paid $200 might not have the experience to understand that this is what needs to be done on the job to be able to rectify it to make sure it's done right the first place, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Because taking instructions and understanding what people want you to do, as in strict instructions like we need the valve there, we need the double check valve there, and that needs to be there to be compliant, right? Not everybody
Yes.
understands that. You're not going to get that at all levels of the person who's asking for less than the man who's fully qualified. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
And
So
that's where I can see your point, but I also understand the point from a plumber is at the end of the day, um, when there are problems, it takes someone who is qualified, understanding, and has been in them scenarios enough times to work out what is the correct solution to be able to do. And I get the point of you guys going back and forth. Obviously, you guys know each other, which is cool. But it's good conversation because I feel that sometimes people come across and they think, oh, but you just want the highest amount of money. It's not like that.
exactly. So one of the points that I want to make sure that you heard too, Mr. London, is that what I was saying is a lot of times some of the advantage, and I don't want to give myself more credit than I really have. With a lot of things, I have some understanding of a lot of what I'm asking also. So
Yeah.
with that being said, I'm able to a lot of times see when something is not done right. So all I'm saying, and this is in my personal opinion, and Keith doesn't respect this, is from me doing the many rehabs that I've done over the last 6 or 7 years,
Yeah.
a lot of times, even when even if I had to bring a second guy out to do the job, what I've paid both of them ended up being somewhere around 65% cheaper than if I would have went the other route. Now, let's say if I spent 150 on this guy and I spent 150 on the other guy, when I could have
Mhm.
just called Keith to come out for 400 and do it, okay, I would take that all day, every day.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying this is Keith because I know he don't listen that well. But if I, if I was going to if one guy was going to charge me 150,
Yeah.
and then I can bring the other guy out for 150, but if Keith telling me $2,000, I'm going to take my chance with the 150 and the 150 every time.
Look, I've worked in this field for a long time and I understand people's thinking process, yeah, but you pay for peace of mind, you pay for that person's experience, and you pay for if you bought Keith out maybe on that job, he would guarantee that he would come back if there was any amenities, or if there was something which needed to be fixed, or if there was something which was not done to your liking.
Right. And I respect that, right?
Mm.
So now let me add to that. So there's a gentleman, you seen Keith just shared him. That's how we got this started, because he ran into a plumber that I use for most of my stuff
Okay.
called Pop, right? Keith don't like that the man charge me prices that I think are acceptable, right?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of investors in the city that use them. So
Yeah.
he can't be tearing up things that bad. You know what I'm saying? So he's done a lot of work. I think it's good work, and he does a lot of work for a lot of rehabs, right? So Keith has seen this guy.
Turn on some more.
I
Turn
can
on some more.
I can vouch for you and say I know Pop's gonna come back. I done had to get Pops back on jobs plenty of
Turn
times. So it's not
on
like I'm looking for the cheapest. He come right back. He actually comes out in emergency situations, which he has saved me a couple of times. And then the numbers is like so much cheaper, like 7,500 versus what I told you that job was 3,500. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? 7,500 versus 35. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say 5,000 versus 3,500. I'm gonna take the 3,500 of somebody that I got experience with, and I've been seeing his work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he's a plumber. So the problem comes when you have other contractors that try to minimize other contractors. And what I've seen as an investor, it doesn't matter how good these guys are, the next guy's going to always come back and say that they didn't do this right. I've had licensed and insured guys come out, and then the next licensed guy come back and say he can't he did this wrong, he did that wrong. So a lot of times when we go on these lives, a lot of the contractors and stuff, you guys like to come on there and pretty much act as if we're out here just asking for the cheapest guy possible. Well, a person like me, when I did real estate, I really did this as kind of like just testing some shit out. So I would say, you know what, let me try this
Yeah.
and see. So I've tried to pay the high guy, I paid the low guy, I paid the middle guy, and at the end of the day, the only way you can justify and pretty much make sure you get the job done well, you got to learn some shit too, so that you can know when shit is not being done right. So a
Of
lot of
course.
times I had to go out there, and that's how Keith and I met. Keith had a plumbing course that he did. He charged $800 for a plumbing course. It was 5 Sundays. I didn't even know Keith. I paid Keith my $800 up front. I invested and I learned some stuff, and that's why him and I are, close or whatever. So
Yeah.
the only way that you can really ensure that shit is being done right, at least in the Philadelphia area, is you got to know something, because the licensed guys will come out there and fuck it up. The shade tree guys will come out there and fuck it up. They all fuck it up, and then nobody likes nobody's work. So
But
unless you
but look at
learn, go ahead.
look at it like this, yeah. You said a valid point. So Keith had the course which was running, yeah, and for you to come on the course, you learnt something from his knowledge, right? So learning from his knowledge, yeah. Some people would take that and say, do you know what? I got a peace of mind of understanding that he even knows what he's doing, and he gave me peace of mind by investing in this course, which allowed me to have an understanding of the basics which were going on. So now when I do ask him something, I'm gonna maybe look at his word a little bit higher than the other person, because again, knowledge is implement, isn't it? And where you get it from and stuff like that, sometimes people tend to come back towards those same people, innit? Or you can branch out, innit? But the being the bottom line is like this, yeah. I live in London, yeah. You're always gonna have in London. You got places where are expensive for people who are, let's say, the Premier League, which is like a football league, yeah, which is the high league in there, and you got people who play locally, yeah, like local football, basically, yeah. There's a big difference within service, within ability, within execution, but within also just this whole service in general, what someone's providing you. Do you get it? There's always going to be this, um, you pay for what you get. That's what the industry is and what people always come with. When you pay for a high level of service, you expect that, and people are going to deliver with that service. They're not going to undeliver, because they know that they're charging a premium rate, which people should get this premium quality service from. That's it.
I get that, right? I think that's a great point you made. But something as simple as a toilet.
Yeah,
Let's say the flange is in the perfect position, right? Ain't nothing broken. I just need you to come out here and change this toilet.
yeah,
Now, I know Keith is very knowledgeable and
Yeah.
I understand these things. Why
Mm-hmm.
would I pay Keith, say 500 versus 150? And I understand what needs to be done here. So this is something that I could do myself, and I've done it plenty of times. But you know what? I want to pay for the service, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't have to go out there and do that. Why would I pay 500? This is not requiring an expertise knowledge, Mr. London. Because I
Right.
understand what you're saying. Because there's some things that you got to pay for his knowledge because he's been doing this shit for 20 years. Boom, boom, boom. But let's say something as simple as that, or something as simple as a trap. A trap costs $6. Why would I pay $250 to change out a trap?
When
That's in the perfect.
people,
That's in the perfect position, lined
yeah,
up, coming out of the wall. As simple as that.
when people say that, yeah, when you have got, so your job, some people that want to do stuff like that and they've got it and they say stuff like that. My honest thing is, if I'm busy at the time, I will do it for the normal rate. But if it becomes a different time or something like that, and I'm busy, we're gonna stick to that price because that's the time frame which I know I can do it in, and that's the price what I'm doing it at. I get it if it can be done for 150, and normally most tradespeople are gonna turn around and tell you if it can be done for 150, just do it yourself, then, mate. And when they say do it yourself, it's because you know most people are not going to, so therefore they would are going to pay the price. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a balance sometimes what we have, because remember, you pay for convenience, you pay for someone to be able to make sure the job is done properly. I know there are simple things like putting a toilet back on what someone else could do themselves if they watch the video, but that depends on how comfortable and how many times maybe you've done it before, or how good you are at following step by steps when it comes to things. He might be following it step by step, so he knows that there's no coming backs. It is fine. There's no, someone would have to break it for it to not to stop working. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I would say about that. Look, I've had that. I've been a plumber for 18 years. I've had people come back and forward with things like that and say, oh, it should be this or it should be that price. And again, I say to them, you know, like, if you want to do it yourself, you can go ahead and do it yourself. But most people are not going to go ahead and do it themselves because they would rather pay someone to be able to sort it out. Peace of mind, knowingly that it will, if there's any comebacks, that this person is going to sort it the same price as what they said that it was going to be installed for in the first place. Because it's all to do with peace of mind.
Mr. London,
Mm-hmm.
you been in plumbing for how many years?
18.
Okay, so in your experience, right? When somebody tell you they'd rather you do it, it's why because they can't do it, they're not confident enough to do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's the reason the reason they're going to pass the buck on to you because they don't want to be responsible for it. They'd rather have a professional do it, right?
Correct.
So you're
And
not
that.
going to. So I just put this on my story the other day, right?
Mm.
I'm not going to take down my prices to make you to come to where you want me to be at because you want me to do it. Think about it. I'm not going to be there. I'm not there if you don't need me to do it. You actually need me,
Correct.
right? So the reason the thing I gave the other day is I said, listen, we here to solve a problem. If you call a
Mm-hmm.
prostitute, right, and she there for an hour or
Yeah.
2 hours, it don't
Yeah.
matter, right? She there to solve a problem. So if she get the
Yeah.
problem done in 5 minutes, you're gonna pay her full price. So don't treat
Correct.
me no different. That's just what
Yeah.
it is. This is what I
Yeah.
want. If it take me an
Yeah.
hour, take me 2 hours. If it's gonna take me more than 2 hours, we gotta do something up to solve the problem. But I'm gonna solve the problem, so you gotta pay me for what it is.